we're talking about we're actually going to start doing field research and videotape it and bring it to the public. And
look, this is extremely dangerous. We do not recommend anyone attempt going into the field in areas where Bigfoot's been sighted, but we're going to do it.
Well, see, there's an extra level of danger because we're actually going to areas where there's drug smuggling because we have to do it.
Well, this is the area where there's been many reports of Bigfoot sightings.
Yeah, and if that wasn't the case, then we wouldn't do it there. But there's also been ultralight planes that carry stacks of pot or heroin or whatever the drug is.
This is the choice of the Mexican mafia, a way to fly under the radar, to bring their drugs across the border without detection, and it's the ultralight planes. And recently an ultralight plane has crashed, loaded to the gills with pot. It was 250 pounds of pot.
And there was also a substantial money on one of these things.
I think it was $1 million in cash that was found.
So they have to bring pot, but a lot of times they're transferring money as well. Now, if you run into a bunch of pot, you'd have to figure out, if you're of that mind, you'd have to figure out a way to sell it.
Which would not be hard to do if you get it to Washington State and or Colorado.
But the thing is, you're risking prison time. Now, if you do find money, on the other hand, you can spend it. You can just collect that and spend it.
I mean, you can fill your car full of gas. You can go to your local strip club and have a damn good time.
With $1 million, you're on Easy Street for the rest of your life.
Including having the pot with you.
Do you think we'd run? Well, you take a little bit of pot if you're so inclined, but are you think we'll run into anything like that, or on the opposite end, are we going to run into some kind of danger and get our throats slit?
Well, we're going to run into all the above. These ultralights are flying over in droves. They can't even keep up with the amount of ultralights that are coming.
Let me just stop you right there because I have something to add because we haven't mentioned this. You do not need a pilot's license to operate.
Absolutely not. Everyone knows that. That's common knowledge.
No, it's not. It's not. Most people don't know that.
In my eyes, that's common knowledge. I would think most people do know that. Ultralights are the way to go. You don't, as you said, you don't need a pilot's license. These things are coming over. I mean, it's almost like it's a Lotus, attack.
What meaning? What?
Meaning it's just the sky is black with ultralight planes loaded with pot and cash.
And they are dangerous to a certain degree to operate. I've watched a bunch of these things, and you see people like all of a sudden the thing runs out of gas and the thing just drops from the sky.
Drops from the ground. Boom! Right into the ground. But let's think about this, and I want to be serious for just a minute. These guys are carrying, 250 pounds of pot and no less than $1 million in cash. What else do you think they're carrying with them?
Weapons?
Absolutely. They're got to be loaded with weapons. And they're carrying semi-automatic weapons. And,
Now, one guy that hit the ground, he actually ran away from it. Now, what do you think he took with him? Now, he obviously can't take all the pot.
He took the cash. He took the cash and left the pot.
Yeah. Now, some of these people, if they're substantially, damaged when they crash, they'll eventually die because with these ultralight planes, they're not going to be caught. The Border Patrol is not going to be on them immediately. It might be
this
hours.
one in particular that went down, they found one set of footprints leading away from the crash site. That's all they found.
Yeah. Now he's got the money he was paid to do the drop. He can't take the pot with him, and he's probably substantially injured. Now, if you run into any of these people along the way, you could take and they're on they have money on them, but they've got it through an illegal means.
Hey, if you're in that area, pick up a hitchhiker because that hitchhiker could be loaded down with cash.
Yeah, so they're in a dangerous situation themselves because they're injured probably to some degree, and they have a crap load of money on them. And they're vulnerable to attack themselves, and you got to be if you're in the area because those things are flying like you say like locusts. They're all over.
It's insane. I mean, the border is an unruly place. It is just it's like the frontier. It's wild.